in the nation's capital city of Abuja. Now, President Bola Tinubu has directed ministers to resume a public performance review next week as part of efforts to promote transparency and keep Nigerians informed about government programs. Mohammed Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation, announced the directive at a press briefing in Abuja on Tuesday. He said the review will begin at the National Press Center, with ministers providing updates on the activities and performance.
The minister added that in 2024, only 25 out of over 40 ministers attended the first edition of the review, where they gave account of their work and plans. He assured that this year's edition will be more comprehensive, with all ministers expected to participate in the coming months. For more on this development, let's bring in a public affairs analyst, Jide, who joins us live via Zoom. It's good to have you on the show this morning, Mr. Jide.
It's my pleasure to get you.
All right. Let's jump straight into it. This is another opportunity for Nigerians to hear from President Tinubu's top officials about the impact of their policies on citizens' lives and, their well-being. However, some Nigerians are skeptical, viewing this as another talk shop, and would rather have, tangible evidences and, proof of their work rather than just promises. Should the ministerial briefing be a priority at this time?
Yes, the president is on point to say that his ministers need to communicate better with Nigerians. Recall that a lot is happening across the ministries, departments, and agencies that many Nigerians are not aware of. And if you don't, there is a adage in my part of the world that a lizard jumps down from a iroko tree, looks left, looks right, and nods his head and said, "If you don't praise me, I praise myself." It's always good to do a kind of self-appraisal. But, if you are not communicating, and communication is two ways, it has to be back and forth. If you are not communicating to the public, they might not or get away with the impression that your organization or your administration is not doing anything or not doing enough. You will recall that even the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari also accused his ministers of not talking to the public enough to communicate what his administration has achieved. And let me also say this. It is in the course of this communication that the ministers will be able to take on whatever the opinions of the public is and to respond appropriately. I recall when Mr. President was the governor of Lagos, people accused him of not fixing the Oshodi expressway that links to Ota. And what he did at that time was to place a very big board at Oshodi to say, this road belongs to federal government. And so people of Lagos became wiser and said, oh, sorry, we thought this road, because it's within Lagos, belongs to the state government and should be fixed by the state government. So if you are not communicating, people will assume all atrocities, all the underdevelopment is linked to the federal government. Meanwhile, there are three tiers of government in Nigeria: the federal, the state, and the local government. You will be surprised that many people thought all road networks belongs to federal government, or all hospitals belongs to federal government, or all schools belong to federal government. So when there is an issue with a particular school, assuming that a secondary school is dilapidated and in deplorable condition, people will blame Tinubu and say, look, this Tinubu has failed. Meanwhile, that school is under the management and control of the state government. I hope I'm making sense. Or a primary school is having issues. They will say, oh, it's federal government that is not doing enough. Meanwhile, those schools are under the purview of state government. So it is in the course of communicating that you will be able to distill issues, to analyze and let the public know, one, what the federal government has been able to do with its own budgetary allocations, and where there are wrong accusations, the ministers and head of agencies will then be able to appropriately educate the Nigerians about whose responsibility it is to handle such issues.
Okay.